Out of from Yamamunina Joe Emma at the Home Base TV, or by the Isham program, Persia, you may be about council, or Bravo, a common song program. Did the Adiyie Mmre. I had only a canyon, coupon, commission, or catch and say, trust you and son on the Maya tossing me no up and a can of pepper or Brian from the videos on so tell you said the Baya, Sabi control, Smisuma, and the many be a bit me who what I see. Tis a my crowd, yes, so I crowd or body in Sham of Papa. Na nsani befi program na se na mamemfa seda kese ema adofo edi bisui yenua ba ko e wo Israel from Vincent Ohenegikum wama ade no nyamedom so ababe cancer nti oba ade insha papa sanso na atasmanso SDA church enso oba ade insha mo pa nura na evangelist Joseph na ne team ni nyina ene mo ena ewo ho mo bibia ekoso kama nti e kasa oba ade insha mo so for da no asori mpanimfo ne asafoto ni nyina no yankopon insha mo papa na enyame pa on the 10th June Poku as Myra SDA Church, a Holman Evangelist Joseph and any team in Ebeba, no tra, a ben, a radicasa, block factory, no, in Chepe, and a Poku as Myra SDA Church, no, Timotion also, and for my on the 10th of this month. Not just a Memenda Airblay, Timoma in Kushia, Poku as Myra, not Yesianti Emum. On the 17th, and so a Nungwa Nautical SDA Church, and also on the 17th, Demonstration also sa emfa MIA. Your friend myself for the share, Kofika Kerry. Yamia Kwa, then a friend, evangelist, and researcher, Joseph Anane, evangelist, Marjuma Kwaba.
Yeah,
Yami Asia Papa. Then your videos mark 10. I be share the actually same topic I share name the verdict of Caiaphas. The verdict of Caiaphas, part 2, and then Mmre. Na Mesremo Amadaroma program a wuhwe no enya nomination for TV program of the year and yasenya nomination for TV developmental program host of the year. It enya 2 nominations na sani be free topic na se no Mesremo as a production air crowd wa mo yin kutwa ehutia wa bimra ye ba na afi ye de dwumadi no ahyehye.
Facebook not take away music.
Spotlight Event Company Limited presents Spotlight Gun. Spotlight Event Company Limited presents Spotlight Ghana Awards 2023. Nominee Kofika Curry. Category TV Developmental Show Host of the Year 2023. Sola Scriptura, the Bible and the Bible only. To God be the glory. Yemia Kofika Curry Tiraye Yo. Nyamia Yadumama winya nomination for TV Developmental Show Host of the Year 2023. Enti sa opese Yemia Kofika Curry winning TV Developmental Show Host of the Year 2023 awards here. Nia wo be yanda se wo be fa phone. No wa dial star 800 star 714 hash. Emfa when the network we use to. Se wo send here, it may be someone shesheye. Now we're selecting shesheye di kaino. Option 1, to vote. Afe maybe saw nomination code. Now abo JB66 Nya Kofi Kakari code. And which the baby sawa here will pesa wotomano. Vote back could be 50 pesos. Ain't you pesa wotone the doa? Yen fana say 10 votes. Ebe 10 times 50 pesos. Ebe mao 5 Ghana cedis. Chese ubetimia to any amount. And which ebe say bisa pin code. Sa bueno se hope. Wewi. Chese watu abama Nya Kofi Kakari. Yenda wase. Enso ensaye. Afenso. The TV programmer watu ni dinye Adiyie Mmre. Enso enya nomination for TV Program of the Year 2023. Dial star 800 star 714 hash. Nedin Shishayane Sosa. And also code JB160. Vote to amount biye dawa komaso. Na fe bo pin code cheho. Na fa confirm ya batuono. Ye dawase. So wadwene ye hono watu abama ye. God bless you for voting for us.
With Jesus, you're the wind beneath my wings. With Jesus.
Black Unit Concepts.
Aba na my winning sa awards yi emienu na no achi na mesramo ayi streaming live on Facebook enti say o phone no your smartphone na ko Facebook like program na share my say the be dom benya program no ahwe eno achi nso no YouTube and afi Twitter nso obenya e wo home based TV Ghana no achi no adofo amonso mo hwe ye Royal TV Kumase ye mamunyina so atena se echi amunyina nyame eham papa evangelist the verdict of Caiaphas.
Yes. Yeda Nyankopon ase.
That's right.
Na sade waka na no anu no. Yeda yahwefo ase. Ne mmombo ya yedi tua TV ka.
That's right.
Enafom. Ya enafom na Nyankopon hira wonum. Da bia metaka se enche bia adwuma ye bawie.
That's right.
Na ya mpa soso. Nuoma nkomhye ahya to wo se ebedi animu ansa na wie na nkasa aba no. Esisi ihu se eba. Ene hye yonkura ye de kasa no. Nje sanka be kasa gonframinti no ahwefo eda mo nyina ase. Menchia atasko atasemanso nyina eno omo yade. Omo tamu fia no padi ko si anwumre.
That's right.
Ai Nyankopon hira wonum. Fine. Meba John 11:50 Yohana Sempai 3 do baako. Tichemodium num de yeka no say the verdict of Caiaphas. Caiaphas atemu. Yes. Wọ́n sẹ́ ọ̀nyìnà akyerẹ mo sẹ́ ẹ̀mú yẹ dín bra na mpanimfo no kò hyiaeɛ sɔfo panin wɔn nyinaa kò hyia Israel bra so na yɛpɛ kwan a wɔn bɛfa so akyi Yesu wɔn nkasa ne sɛ wɔn de sanko ka Kristo ade asɛm bɛba temu hɔ na Caiaphas de odi sɔfo panin afe no ɔno de adwetwe bra sɛ dabi mu yɛ nkunu ɛyɛ kyɛn ɛyɛ sɛ ɔbaafofo sa na twere ne se ɔka ne sa na yɛ nkɔmhyɛ.
That's right.
Ebi ahyase esi na ahyase no enwie no na mamina kwan yɛfo so ho aka.
That's right.
Ɛno de so mo na mo bi ahyɛ afa na nyina ɛnti na meka kyerɛ sɛbi yɛn nua no mamida nketenkete ne sɛ ɔmo nkɔ azi sɛ de Kristo wo ma wi ase nyina no ɛsi yenya asafo ɛwɔ wi ase afa na nyina fi sɛ ɔmo ho bɛka na nse ya yɛnwie disua na nka so bɔn sɛ ahyase anamuntu na ahyase na menka mane wa only on my videos 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't fancy that videos mark 10. Now answer on the production madam videos 1 and 2 more room for mine.
Okay, kom. Kom eens even. Niet van jezelf zijn. Nee, kom maar vertellen. Je bent bij de bus. Kom.
A street blockade, for example, like this one is going to be, has been recognized by the European Court of Human Rights as a legitimate form of protest. Furthermore, we're protesting right here by the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate. We're doing this because that's within sight and sound of the place where these decisions are made, these decisions to essentially subsidize our own death.
I'm Damien Gale, a Guardian environment correspondent, and I've been covering environmental protests for the past 5 years. During the last week of April, climate activists mobilized around the world to protest continued climate breakdown.
It does feel like we're losing. To turn that around, we're going to have to step up our game.
Tell me what will work better then. I'll do it.
As some worry that climate activists are losing the fight, I visited protests in England and France to see if there's anything British protesters can learn from their neighbours.
In the UK, when climate protesters want to block a road, they sit down in front of it. And in France, they build an actual wall. And the bottom line here is that French people are simply better at protesting than
I don't know if Mamunya Aquaba, you see protest be a cost as security for no find it tough. Protester evangelist.
Yes. Sema mekase de ekono ekoyi. Ko ekoyi ne se. So said that nipa ma me anyin se bosome nkron ya wo no. On say ye twini fom.
That's right.
One pin so na ne nyina ne se Netherlands aban. E ho na na demonstration ne cost won Netherlands. Timemfo tiemu ka kira aban se won hyemra. Eye climate change mra no. Omo pamra na omo bre.
That's right.
Na sa climate change mra no. Emu na kwasa na mra hye no wo. Nti nipa nankasa no hwese de esi twini fom. Still ano ofoso. Yes. Ohia mra no. Ono na dwen ye ne se do mpanimfo committee ko gi tum. Emra no na ebe boa no. Ma na setena ne bibia mu asesa asase so. Na fe ama weda no so asesa ma. Nti omo de omadwum kan no mo de sa de no. Na meme TV so ka kire yase nyina se. Emra no a nipa no ayo ye kire ne se fa mra no. Kwasa da so ehim.
That's right.
And then me pese omo ti ase sa.
Na kwasi da ahmeje ehim.
Ehim. Video to so mienu. Eno koso wo France. Omo de so mo hwe video no omo de cement ene block omo to block esiri ka kwan. Omo so omo ye omo de ma na chen de ya omo ye o UK. Omo so UK for de omo ya omo ye na so mo bro from ai omo de omo block ka kwan nankasa. E ka ta ban se wo hyemra. Na asaju me de na koso no a whole document ni Euro News at that screen also.
Okay.
Now head in the pen everybody.
Okay, Euro News. Over 1,500 climate activists arrested for blocking highway in The Hague.
Oh,
that's 27th March.
Yes.
2023.
March May. What does 27 May 2023. And now so much nipa ebro or your pay back on hanum. Now, all the Tosaka can be more than
1,500 climate activists.
Yes.
From the climate change protest group. The Extinction Rebellion was arrested on Saturday for blocking a major highway in The Hague.
And one so no watch and say yachi nipa ebro pay back. Just say where do one go one go to just say o swatch aban shemra
one day or show bo e ma ban se on shemra e climate emra
e na ban na tum yo enya den ye mo the third video the be kira asem.
Okay, production please, video 3 and also my crowd or room for my.
I invite the CMA to consider agenda item 16, report of the committee to facilitate implementation and promote compliance referred to in article 15 para 2 of the Paris Agreement. Parties may recall that a contact group was established, co-chaired by Aaron Reidel from Germany and Kunzang from Bhutan. I thank the co-chairs for their hard work and now invite the CMA to adopt the draft decision entitled Rules of Procedure of the Committee to Facilitate Implementation and Promote Compliance, referred to in Article 15, Paragraph 2 of the Paris Agreement, contained in document FCC/PA/CMA/2022/L1. Hearing no objection, it is so decided. I invite the CMA to consider agenda item 16, report of the committee to facilitate implementation and promote compliance, referred to in Article 15, Para 2 of the Paris Agreement. Parties may recall that a contact group was established, co-chaired by Aaron Reidel from Germany and
I don't know, yes, I am a more quababu. The Bia said, I make a program we in the Hormo say, Yebeka as semi Bia and Tiasiana Mania Soroko, there be Bia the video. Each thing said, I'll bet Tiasia. Even the Sakosha another video.
Yes. Now, the best screen no so. Where CAF 27 year ko yi.
That's right.
Chairman na sell titrini no ono kasa no. Ena o kai nyina hye ya moje atum. Na wo hwe kasa no oka no okotukotu. Mmre no moje tu mu no subsections na de. But we free United Nations climate change akache. Na ekuo bi ayate.
Okay, United Nations climate change.
Yes.
Paris Agreement Implementation and Compliance Committee.
Very good.
PAICC. The Paris Agreement Implementation and Compliance Committee was established under the Article 15, Paragraph 1 and 2 of the Paris Agreement.
So now, where a Paris Agreement Implementation Compliance Committee, I just said task force. Ayate.
That's right.
Omo number say abanya hodo. E wo wiase no. Mmra no ye tu mu no. Se wonyi ntu mu a, na so mfa nya adwuma. E yo masede se ye hyew. Na wo de aye adwuma.
Okay.
Omo ne sa implementation committee no. Afi to aso its role is to facilitate.
Its role is to facilitate implementation of and promote compliance with the provisions of the Paris Agreement.
Yes. Enti na adwuma ne se Osani makano promoting what compliance.
Intisha hodo UN. Agiatum IPCC dia ba UN agiatum.
Sa.
Wenum na ehwe se amanye wo wiase nyina de be adwuma.
Sa.
Okay.
Enti no omo no de. And someone can say yes, omo say police force. Omo no mo di say adwuma no.
That's right.
Fine. Makana sa no yembo the next two videos.
Okay.
The better same.
Production videos 4
yes, 4
and
5.
5. This row and also room.
As of October the 4th, it is official. The Vatican has joined the Paris Climate Agreement. By signing the 2015 United Nations Agreement, the Holy See is committed to working toward the common goal of combating climate change. In 2015, a total of 197 countries agreed to this contract at the UN Climate Change Conference in Paris. The goal of the signatories was, and still is, to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius. The meeting at the Casina Pio IV, organized by the Secretariat of State and the Pontifical Academy of Social Sciences, was attended by the Vatican's Secretary of State, Cardinal Pietro Parolin, Cardinals Michael Cerny and Fernando Verges, Archbishop Paul Gallagher, foreign ministers, and UN representatives, among others. Cardinal Parolin emphasized that St. Francis of Assisi not only served as the Holy Father's namesake, but also inspires him for his commitment to the integrity of creation. The Pope himself, he said, has reaffirmed his commitment to reducing Vatican city-state emissions to zero by 2050, while promoting an education in integral ecology. Archbishop Paul Richard Gallagher, Secretary for Relations with States and moderator of the meeting, underscored the consistency of the Paris Agreement with the Church's social teaching on ecology. Either we win together or we lose together, Gallagher concluded.
The COP27 UN Climate Change Summit has come to a close in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, with an agreement to establish a fund for poor nations vulnerable to the effects of climate change paid for by wealthy countries. For the first time, the Holy See participated in the annual conference as a formal party to the UN body that oversees negotiations on climate issues. The Holy See also acceded to the 2015 Paris Agreement in October to give its moral support to states responding to the challenges posed by climate change to humanity and our common home. In his remarks during the World Leaders Summit at COP27, Vatican Secretary of State Cardinal Pietro Parolin said the Holy See's participation as a state body, rather than an observer, demonstrates the Vatican's commitment to combating climate change by playing a more active role in international cooperation.
Climate change will not wait for us. Our world is now far too interdependent and cannot permit itself to be structured into unsustainable, isolated blocks of countries. Our political will should be guided by the awareness that either we win together or we lose together.
During the summit, Pope Francis expressed his hope that its outcome would put countries on track to maintain their commitment in the Paris Agreement to stop global temperature rise at 1.5 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial levels.
Auspico che si facciano passi in avanti
con coraggio, determinazione nel solco tracciato dell'accordo di Parigi.
Adofo ne sign Emma Mwakwa Babiu. The enemy say enka Vatican ebe call United Nations and a Holy See be call no call as an observer. E dey na asesa. Yes, mo share on Facebook no want to also and share my said be a don be program no. Even this, yakwa 2 videos.
Yes. Also every year the same bi ha. These are one mind. Yenum ewo adwenkro. Na ye chire mu se enkom sha ka to dadaada. Se ebe kwa wie ya Holy See aban. Any UN, any America beka boom. Na sa anka bom no ba enam so ma Nyankopon ma ho bekwa ho chiri. Nyankopon ba kwa ho chiri.
That's right.
Holy See ankasa atabere letter akoto UN say me mabeka mo enti munyimi ntum.
Say the me observer bi.
Da bi kane no na nkoye behwe ade ni okọ transi din etie onka bi. Sa se no yagina atom se oyo man.
Enti e to about with.
Yes. Na letter ekota mini.
Okay.
First UN climate summit with Holy See. Head in the pack can be here. You be another one. A free room. Room report. Free.
Okay, that's November.
Yes.
21st November
2022. Yes.
Okay, first UN climate summit with Holy See as a member state closes in Egypt.
First UN climate summit. What does it? Also, when UN in Shemwa Yayefa Obobra Hua Holy See Wabeka ho say Omai. Do anyane. Na amai no assign Paris agreement no. Yako UN akoje copy. Production the better screens is here. United Nations Treaty collection. Your status as your status as at 29th May 2023. Krata ekuta mi no. ABC 29th May 2023. Amaya yajo matum se omona Paris agreement omo assign. Ye shemra as amani nyina omo shemra na ase no. Ajo krata di ni. Na ye nya break nkan ye no enkro na ya assign age atum. Me pacho omudina me pese obahwa na odi kakra bi atudwa. Ba bia mama ke makin kwa adansi adansi
Gambia,
yes,
Georgia, Germany, Ghana, my beloved country,
yes,
Ghana, Greece, Grenada, Guatemala, Guinea-Bissau, Guyana.
On se womu nyina meba twame on se de besi Guyana no womu nyina ye nkuro e bien ho a eni o mampani na esan so wo ne padodo wo kronum odo no ka se be demography na se population fine on se obobo e do so de to afi to aso kakra den hwa de.
Okay, yabo Guyana, Haiti, Holy See, Honduras,
yes,
and Hungary.
Very good. Enti no Holy See Babia hate utra Haiti ya oba Holy See utra Holy See ya oba Honduras utra Honduras oba Hungary o nyina ya man
now ko Iceland
eto so now me the world map ato screen so production beto say ya me be say ahwefo nyina mo hwe yan say o mo kire babia Holy See e wo world map no so eno me be say ahwefo no so mo hu a WhatsApp nda so kire o mo pa mai na so mo hu a o mo nyina nka me ho ne me say United Nations say Holy See no ekuro na wo he no mo nkire ipa dodo a e wo Holy See no.
Okay,
asem tiawa na ye kwa anim no senkyeremo ama ye ba sa akọ UN ho akọ ginkyeremo ye ba betudwa asem ye tiawa enti world map na wo screen so no o mo nkire be Holy See wo because mitimi hu Ghana ya bobo Haiti ni nyina wo TV no so outimi hu me hu Holy See e bia sabio school na yankọ papa nti na meka ne sa no na menim ne enti a meka ne sa fi se ye din krata ena ye dwuma wa ha.
Okay.
Da chi bia yasem de ebe wi court ken ntinu ti court mfra ye no krata ye ta ye ni. When ye climate home news na omo kan bibi date ni ye 11th May 2023.
Exactly. Okay, climate home news.
Yes.
Paris agreements. Police force begins with rebuke to Vatican.
Yes.
Hey,
I
have
one chance to all the body answer my comment.
Okay, that's 11th May 2023.
Very good.
Time in our
MP a screen to see na eba ne sai ena sa task force na ye bo ho video mo kan say yate no enkuro a enkuro wo yi ewiase
o mo agin hihye na
atum no omonya be mo baako ankotwi nanim se oman ye omodi kan frɛ sɛ yakotwi nanim no se onfa climate change mra na emfa nya dwuma yie eye Vatican eba ne sai America China sɛ yɛka kuro no a ɔmogu wiase mframa mu fia ɛnyɛ na waba America ɛsɛ China ne di kan America India nom ɛyɛ dan na policefoɔ no a ɛyɛ climate change policefoɔ no ɔmo anka wɔ mu nyinaa bi na mo ɔmo di ɔmo ni ɛkɔsi Vatican so sɛ ɔmo nhyɛ mmra efiri wo de taso kakra
a committee set up to pressure governments into complying with the Paris Agreement has issued its first warnings, rebuking the Vatican City for not submitting a climate plan.
Mo, I have a patch of Montras and I'm you. Say, you treat Vatican City and him. Say, Prime Noah, Janet Shaya, ye Ginaso, Ediaco Shambrano, or no finding the Maya. Monte Brovia or more catching you. Okay. On fani dia maya no me nto so bebre ye mo video ba ko na me fan kira sem no mo video 6
production video 6 mo room for my ne fan kira sem
excuse me get out of there. Grazie.
Adofnom yemamu akwa baby who said demonstration be ekoso na me obi sasa e kire say enunti na evangelist wa evangelist
agrono deba asembisa ne say sa demonstration we no omo ye wo Pope Francis akachi na so ye edom omo ye demonstration no omo se omo ye aboa climate change entin emra na we asede aba no a omo kyare ho no see demonstration yeda koko Pope Francis da mo ankasa e Vatican ho e ho na the don't suppose so
so that they are ready buy you want the once na buy enti e frase ye ne wakache ne be frase
na men kan sa keke me san so kuta ho dance e from am ho religion news service from California.
Okay.
Na Vatican takes climate activists to court on Laudato Si anniversary.
Okay, that's religion news service.
Yes.
Vatican takes climate activists to court on Laudato Si anniversary, May 24th, 2023.
One Brofukitu yi so bedwun ha kwachire a wo mo ekoye demonstration no wo mo chi wo eto ho enu o masem ye chi wo last year ye enu o masem afiwe ena Laudato Si nya mfi nwotwe te dan no nya mfi nwotwe no ena ekoyi o mo free se ibedi mo asem enu ene brofo no mo atwera so wo no
Vatican City. Climate change activists faced trial at the Vatican on Wednesday. Vatican here trial. Okay, May 24th.
Yes.
On vandalism charges for gluing themselves to the statue of Lacoon and his son.
Yes.
In the Vatican Museum last summer.
So last summer. Okay. Yes. Into Osha date na date no 24th May this year. The last summer no June to August. Summer there every June. About July, about August, September na year 4. Enti nipa no akoye oye kire Pope Francis akachi. Ana mo achi nipa no. Munni nasem. Mo twema Laudato Si ni asanya afi be di Laudato Si na fasha ne edomu akogina court enu na bayi
okay
sa na meka kire zifo me se part na ye no eduru so a ye di eti na baby program what the ento aso
the trial of Easter Goffey,
yes,
a 25-year-old art history student, and Guido Viero,
yes,
a 61-year-old health worker, took place on the 8th anniversary of Laudato Si.
Yes.
Pope Francis encyclical promoting the care of creation and the environment.
Yanko Joas
joined other climate activists on Wednesday for a protest near St. Peter's Square in support of Goffey and Viero.
Very good.
The two were offered a defense lawyer who is an expert in canon law by the Vatican, since they claimed they could not afford their own. They risk paying over 30,000 euros in fines.
Fine. Where dear? Let me be a little bit diplomatic. Me person no kura no me bona apostle keke. I have for who person making. Vatican City nim sa son dan desi ho. Na Pope Francis, eja konkron Pope Francis. Aw ya nyankopon na musini se dom ka so musisi e kire no. Na ya den na afa yakobie koto ho a ye di criminal case e wo. E ho ne di asem. Obetum na dem fan call police station.
Okay.
And that's one person make an.
That is a room set up no. Almost our court.
You court to ho.
It will do assembly.
And no ne cost one.
Oh, okay.
Sir. Tina me be United Nations say Holy See. Na sase away. Okay. Mo ye de no betwiri. Na bibi koso. You see your balada to see so. Page 178. Me number 130 177. Na be paragraph 178 part on your page. What the page 131, so 131 my.
Okay.
And you what there be 131.
Page 131. Okay. Paragraph
178.
178.
I know
my reference. Because enforcement of law is at times inadequate due to corruption. Public pressure has to be extended in exerted. Okay. Exerted in order to bring about decisive political action.
Pope Francis and you be fufro on one ladder to see the common United Nations and on one casa trewum ama we say wo jai aban se won hyemra kata sisene proyenti omuntimi entini esese tememfo yemu ye oye kire ni di shaban se won hyemra se wa twere we di ama wi ase na wan kasa wasase a wote so a wode mo pani emu nkrofo bi asori eyo oye kire etia wan kasa hye ya adan na wugina wan kasa sasa chi wom kotum
one wa makwan se
yes
sebe yo na mra na be ye adwuma nti yenye ye kire
yes
pressure to
aban so
se de be on be
mra very good
e na wa wakache so yeso wo delay and ya be demonstration bi ho
yes
e wache wo mu kodi wo
ma say
oh okay
and then dey make us when society
through non-governmental organizations and intermediate groups must put pressure on governments to develop more rigorous regulations, procedures, and control.
One said, I can't know. Or society, near make us society means as I with him. Society, yes, Obi Bianipoku Biaram or sit yamfa or she, emu abanso. So I say,
okay, unless citizens control political power,
yes,
national, regional, and municipal, it will not be possible to control damage to the environment.
Sanity, and Pope Francis after Magana by any reaction in a physical Laudato Si Nekuta UN.
That's right.
Sir, ye map team for and ye check no more shabai. So I can say they should control political power. And they say no a dear ye beka and a buy betty. And the demonstration ye dividend shall say you can perform. A casa
by be a wire Akenyano.
Yes,
such a day and Yemfe Jamunechi.
Province natural sano. So what I say. Okay, to us.
Local legislation can be more effective.
Yes.
Too, if agreement exists between neighboring communities to support the same environmental policies.
More natural say. Oka local legislation. Yen shemra wo bia ye wo no say Ghana na sha Ghana nche. Na wo hye so a kai so say o man bi e ben wo so no. Emra na wo be hye no say so ba no mfaso. If you say you want to be between Ghana Ghana ha, no Ghana nkwa be this emra no so. See any Togo ni Cote d'Ivoire ni Burkina Faso here. Nemu ye wo nyoma bi wa sisi a na se wo memehyɛ mmara no na saa de korɔ no ebi si esi wɔ Cote d'Ivoire ɛsɛ saa mmara no Cote d'Ivoire so hyɛ bi te sɛ COVID so ade ase COVID no wo firi Cote d'Ivoire ba yɛhwɛ sɛ wabɔ pane anase hwanhwan yɛde wo fam sanso wo firi Ghana ha ɛkɔn so a yɛde wo fam efisɛ yare no atra Ghana hye sana climate change so den atra aman bi ahye enti sɛ mehyɛ mmara wɔ ha sɛ me de bɔ Ghana fo ho ban sɛ climate change ya ɛsɛ Cote d'Ivoire so den ɛhyɛ saa mmara the programs watch yeni
okay
fine yenwie o kan bebe kakra bi e kan ho hwe page 127
okay
page 173
paragraph 173 to more ladder to see ni no or say
yes
enforceable international agreements
very good
are urgently needed since local authorities are not always capable of effective intervention.
Very good. Let's say was say amanaman ka bomu a ye hyemra enforceable international agreement yenya pam ne yen hyemra fe se wojama ankra woni ntimi nhye tie nyina yemu ne den yen hyemra enfa climate change no ho yeda na ase ne futu yenante.
Relations between states must be respectful of each other's sovereignty.
Yes.
But must also lay down mutual agreement, means of averting regional disasters.
Yes.
Which would eventually affect everyone.
I don't know. Sa ti wo hyemra no a de e fa wo krom ho de hye na mmom de aba e kan yase nyina de ye nyina be mo hye samra no. Ti kan me ti gyemra no ba ko fo nhye wo. Obako pajamu a ese nyina di akire we last one global regulatory norms eno po de se ya kire
okay
ye mreze fo akache na eno no ye be frɛ video 7 and 8
okay
na ye fanka ya asem
production please video 7 and 8 eno so my krado a mo room for my.
We just received great news from the United States Supreme Court that they granted review in another religious liberty case of ours, Gerald Groff versus the United States Postal Service. This is a great case about the religious liberty rights of millions of Americans while they're at work. There's been a decades-old case out there, TWA versus Hardison, and we asked the Supreme Court to re-examine this case because it's being overly restrictive of religious liberty rights at work. We got a great team on this case led by Aaron Street, Alan Reinach, and Randy Wenger, and David Crossett did a great job down at the district court, and now we're all going up together at the Supreme Court to try to get the Supreme Court to re-examine TWA versus Hardison so that we can make sure that everybody has their full religious liberty rights protected while they're at work.
For an hour, might go a little longer than that. Let's talk about this case. You've met Gerald Groff. You've been to his part of Pennsylvania. I have too. It's a gorgeous part of the state up there. Tell me about his case. What was he asking for? What was his job first? What was he asking for, and what brought all this to court?
Sure. Well, actually, I was the one who received the phone call the first time Gerald Groff called, saying that he has a problem. He was a current member of the post office at the time, and he was being told that he had to work Sundays. They kept scheduling him for Sundays, even though he said, I can't. My conscience doesn't permit me to work on the Sabbath, which he believes in his religious beliefs that that's on a Sunday. And so he had, just to back it up a little bit, what he came from. He was a missionary, so he was overseas for years. When he came back, he wanted to find a job where he was going to be able to not work on Sundays. That was one of the key things. And so what better place than the post office than ever open on Sundays?
Adofo na yesan emmo kwa babio program we ni guso a wo hwe Adiyie Mmre Kenya nkopon komhye a ebamu ebedi ne maye no animu pepepepepepe na iwia na di video atato enti yesra mo topic a yehwe enne no safe no adwene the verdict of Caiaphas part 2 ena yehwe no enne na program it be ba wa kwanso emu adaroma na mo send this cabre ye titia ye de tua airtime no enti ye dan mo adaroma se wo kakra bi wo nsemu apese the support program any programs nkaya ye no se de be ya ye bitime tua airtime no mesre wa number bitime send usika de akoso no fa pen ne twro 055 35 74933 program na koso nyina hwase ho ubon se egu screen no so copy na wo send this ka bi e die be ba na Joseph Anani Timonsha no so sam fa maye even za ko hwetu videos
mo when they miss me by the Wakati lawyer name Abranche no de kan ka say the Supreme Court says yes. As for enye asori no say general conference ene so ma wo no there be wɔyɛ ankorankora ekuo bi a wɔazifo
moyɛ lawyer
fo
mo ate wo mo chamber
na chamber ba ko yɛfrɛ no First Liberty wo mo ba ko na kasa yi ɔse Supreme Court apene ɔmo asɛm so ɔmo de asɛm ya kɔdan court ɛna Supreme Court apene so ɛne video ɛdi so yɛdi kan boy na asɛm nyina yɛtiawa abrante bi yɛfrɛ no Gerald Graf as if lawyer for yɛ di n'asɛm ma na biribi atwam ɛyɛ 2019 na ɔyɛ dwuma post office ɛne yɛahyɛ ne sɛ ɔmmra dwuma kwasiada ɔso wɔ nkɔ kwasiada ne homeda company ne kan bia ɔso wɔ nkɔ nti ɔmotwe n'aso mpiri no ogyina no a ɔse kwasiada no ɛyɛ ne homeda manager mpo yɛ n'adom sɛ ɛne ɔnkɔ asɔre no anopa sɛ de yɛ kɔ yɛ pɔn ano aba ɔse dabi kwasiada no yɛ bible anka sɛ awurade anopa ɔse bible sɛ awurade da nti ɔgye da mu nyinaa sɛ homeda
okay
tino eba saa na company ama no kwan no ɛna wɔgya adwuma no to gya no kɔfa lawyer kɔfa no lawyer no kyerɛ sɛ da bi saa case we ne mi hu di ɛna ɔkyerɛ no lawyer foforɔ nkyɛn sɛ kɔhɔ no kɔyɛ lawyer to so mienu odru hɔ nso so a lawyer ne sɛ da bi mini nkrofo bi a ɔmo na ɔmo yɛ expert ɔmo na ɔmo wɔ nimdeɛ wɔ saa case a wɔkan ho enti ma mani onim fan ko ɛna ɔno de kɔfa ezi for iso kyerɛ sɛ gye asɛm no ɛna ɔmo kɔdi asɛm no edi kan ɛwɔ court nketewa no ɔmo kan district court ɔmo kɔ na branch ne lusui to lusu yɛ no 2019 ɛsɛ 45 na beto so wi asɛm no 2019 yaba 2020 yaba 2021 2022 ɛne yaba 2023 mfienum sɛ me want to sɛ ne papa dia ye bedum yi ɛna ɛzia lawyer for yɛ sɛ dabi complain ba am aka kyene dɔɔso yeyi madi adwuma mu titiri na ɛzia fo anka sɛ yɛ adwuma menda yɛ sɛ ma adwuma menda no yeyi bebre adi ɔmpɛ sɛ ɔmbɛkɔ adwuma menda ɛnkyɛ ɔmo hunu sɛ abrante case bi ɔmo di abrebi no ɛmra ma kwan sɛ abrante no eni kwan sɛ yi na di
Musa pejasem.
Yes, pejasem no. Na se court ebu abrante na asem na abrante di bi mu a. Ani afi ye beje saa mra no a ama di bi mu no. Na ye di akwama memenafo no asese ye hye wo so mra dwuma no. Nti no omo peja case no. Ana me ko to court ho February this year.
Wow.
Ana Supreme Court atra ho an no se no asem we yenni. Ti Supreme Court e bie mu se mo asem ye bedi. Ene ne first video no. Asem ni na asase ni.
Okay.
Enti no ye bedi asem no ene ye body say April 18 ene ye bedi asem ene video mi no a e boto aso no mo hye blue bisa na ye mo interview no ti no eda no eye da no a omakodi asem odi kan a ye pie aba na document om de ko to court no nsem bi di akiri bae me pese we say ebenya ayi akenkan ana say before e be kan no mpo no ma yembo videos na 10 ansa document number
okay I don't know my dancing into production, my videos 9 and 10.
Yes. Bobby, I need to actually.
Relationship back in the day. I want to look down through my questions. One of the other things, I'm thinking about social media. People that comment on this, and I've been going through the feed, some want to argue, well, I don't know that you need to take every Sunday off. Others are saying, well, the Sabbath is really Saturday. That's not what this case is about when you get down to the essence of it legally. It's not about whether Gerald Groff is right in what he believes. It's whether he has the right to what he believes, because that sets a legal precedent that protects all of us whenever, say, for example, a government employer doesn't like what we believe.
Right, yeah, that's absolutely right. And that's one of the most fundamental things about religious liberty is to be able to protect people that we may not agree with, because that same principle, that same value protects our rights as well. And so we may not agree, and that same works with free speech. We might not agree with what somebody's saying, or we might not agree with the religious belief that a person has, but the principle that protects us is that same principle, that the principle that protects our religious liberty as well.
And so that would expand to, say, someone who's Jewish, who wants to honor the Sabbath on Saturday. Right. Could extend to, as we mentioned, a Seventh-day Adventist, but also goes beyond that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So religious liberty is a value that it goes into the schools. The ability for schools, for students in schools to be able to evangelize and talk.
Our faithful carrier made it all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States, where just moments ago they finished hearing the argument in this case. It was slated to go an hour. They went almost 2 full hours talking about this. And we're going to talk to the team that brought this to the court today. I've got with me the first Aaron Street, who actually argued this case before the U.S. Supreme Court. This is the case of the postal worker in Pennsylvania who was just wanting to honor the Lord's Day and have Sundays off. The post office didn't want to do that, and that's how we ended up here. Aaron, how'd it go today?
Well, we were honored to represent Mr. Groff in his attempt to live out his faith at work.
I don't say Emma Mokwababu. We the Indian Yakwakuti and Sema Omokano. I don't see it. Yanko Evangelist on Chimu.
There in person or more Kaifi video, ya able to say. As if one they try why you be saying some question. Now, dear, let her be seen so. Gerald Groff of Fred. For the phone friend, do D can file call on a year interview.
That's right.
And ye be say, I send Ankasa Modia court to a Quasada and Yamaminda, and no say I, Ojitum. Now Brantia no Quasada, sorry. No fish Quasada and any homida. Now Omunku dia sem no court say court and say Maminda and Aquasiada Yeno. Court and Maquai. Nani pebi or which may be or person or cosum ne radino. I say America, a mamma and Maquai. Me and Fajumano ain't seen pano quine, or so because of money quasori. Teno Domoka Gini. Ta branch no Quasara ne coy. Tenuno Moquasama brantian.
Okay.
Now, Omunginas one is say, court map Quasada quine there, and yes, some mamma down so quine. Or my view of Midako court, the Omun can't tell a court dear. She said no Quasara no more different court.
Okay.
Say court in Maquai. She said,
it's a no born to find the man. He said, he is right for what he believes.
Sir.
But whether he has the right to what he believes.
To believe.
And no more fighting.
And no more fighting.
That's right.
I said, Quasada ne dear, I see a Yamano. Now, say, Baya, a Mamma de Maquai so whom Quasadano. And yes, we could do a about. Fine.
Okay.
Now, Nitewa, yes, look at a document that.
Okay.
As a copy of Cotton. Baptist News Global. Omuda Sembiaba. Now, a
broad coalition of religious liberty groups.
Yes.
Sides with former postal employee. That's April 13th. 2023.
Yanante.
Baptist Joint Committee for Religious Liberty is among the dozens of faith-based organizations to take Gerald Groff's side in Groff versus DeJoy.
Yes.
In which the justices will hear oral arguments on April 18th. We joined a brief that was led by attorneys for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The brief also was joined by the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops and National Association of Evangelicals, the Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission of the Southern Baptist Convention, and the Anti-Defamation League. Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's BJC. General Counsel.
Others filing friend of the court. Next page.
Okay, I see it here. Okay. Others filing friend of the court briefs.
Yes.
For the plaintiff include numerous Hindu, Sikh, Muslims, Jewish, Catholics, Evangelical Protestant, and faith-based legal organizations. The General Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church and the Union of Orthodox Jewish Congregations of America were among those filing joint brief.
Me partner production on fire a list of a dia bubu, you know.
That's why Gidia hope.
Macho being red, macho being black. On pesa, you know, on fatu screens on my
production without my factors on my
on your yes. Me pacho on qua only as if on the only general conversation with the next slide after that one.
Okay.
Yes, very good. Is this one?
That's so cry.
Aye. Me pacho ayafo monhwe osoma hodoi as ye di kan ede letter ko to Supreme Court. Say ye be diama obi okwa so de kwese da ope ni homeda de akodi. So adase oman fa letter ko to court say ye be je homeda wo memenda da biu. Omo se omo kwese kwese ada ama brantie no. As ye di letter no ko to Supreme Court no. Eno na Baptist for e kire mo say no omo so akoka eku ahodo ho. Ene guskin so no. Say osoma hodo wo America nyinara
interested in the case.
Now, Montas and Juno, Eze fo anko kache Supreme Court say omo hye mami ndamra wo. Omo po de omo se mo ma branch ne kwa no nkwa asore kwasi ada. Keke. Eno no soma hodo wo America nyina kremo Buddha, Sikh, Hindu, Roman Catholic. Ayi method omo nyina say.
Protestant churches.
Omo nyina say dabi asam no yekoka bi. Ye nyina ye pekwasi ada no. Ana yaji. Asam ni. Na ewie ho production next slide. Onfa mini ba no besi. For the National Constitution Center, America Biabia, or so mudi amanyosam say ya, and Mmre Musansem. Or much say Supreme Court no, as if for a demika cohon, a judge for one crown, a moon song 7, a numni, Minokan, and son Roman Catholic.
Wow,
as a for ma. Mo, Bakwa Kano a Jewish, and about who also a non denominational Protestant, just or no, or take quite should be on them. Na who is the lawyer? Only Roman Catholic ni could asem.
Asem the Pope himself. I will interest.
To ojiri se kwa wokoi eno mpe benya nkwani. Manu esi.
Ready one day. And from and topic you know the verdict of Caiaphas. And part 2 and a share no na. Me gidi se off follow program ni year. Enti ase no aba papa we de awiabom enti emu da ho na de ase yi nyina ehye no nso ene se apreto a ekoso emrahye ne niema ekoso edi agencheche ni nyina no etwa ba besi memene da som a yese ye de kwasi ada mum esi na na mu ye de kwasi ada ye ahmejida ama biase nyina a United Nations agiato mu na akase omde be ye dwuma ne be take global dimension. And no na se omu di na preto a yakwakwahwe ho demonstrations ahodo a ekoso na media mensa da mensa yem e de ma 7th Day Adventist Church members se baby a mu aduri ana baby a yaduru wiase abakosem no yato pempim enti yato kuro because the ekoso ni nyina no te se mo nyina ko meeting na mo nyina hene atie mu akasa mo mfa nsu hie nsi so na mu kuma chechedie ntutu no obeto ani ahwa kokon anim no wo su enso nye din ne e boye adenti no wosun asem sebe etini ekoso ni nyina no etwa behwe the 7th Day Adventist Church se ebewie no ye behye kwasi ada homra ugidie begina sei ena minim pefe so se ye hye kwasi ada mra ne take global dimension adom to atwa it is abre no ugina be ebe se sa abre no to pa de nhira se na Mmre mo chebre na mo hwe dwumadie no na mo adawroma program yi enya nomination as a TV program of the year 2023. It will be biara opese program we ye Adiyie Mmre ewini sa award no no fa phone na dial *800* na wa dial 714# no wa send o send e be ma 3 options no choose option 1 na say voting it will send the one obekere ho na apese auto abama no enter ni code ni short code program short code no JB160. Oh boy, I won't say Adiyie Mmre no beba bego. Afi vote to do apesa woto no. Say 250 cedis a. And am say ba ko bia 1 pesos no. Obe enter 100 votes. Na che say no be ma 50 Ghana cedis. No send it once. Na process we na yama say afi enter your secret code. O enter na afi wato aba e ama program no. Ti esem amunya no sa man say de be win program no. And watch in 2 nominations and menso yet choose me as program developmental TV program developmental host of the year and also me short code no kufika carry me short code no JB66 and also we follow the same process na a yama na fi wetimi atoaba e de aman na no nkamfu ano so we siuta e hye me fefefe ya Boys to Men me pa so we nya mass production yesi utina akoto a na homa sesa ho na je se wa na akoko twitwa no da bi we original it is open suit papa a share their program bia na bibia tesa obeko Accra udu run circle na de wani kire se okọ Melcom na ansa bedru Melcom no nsa benkum so pe ubon se Boys to Men boutique e wo ho no shirt shoes suit bibia wo hia bia no okọ ha won sa beka bi da sisi Accra de odinkwala entire if you America any UK aba e wo ho no bibira na bo no nso e wo fam nti wodo wani kire ho no ma obenya bi kama ne number no be gidi se production e de agu screen so nti fa so outside Accra ofre na ono be arrangement to send you sika ba no no so de enema na maka e de abro na daruma e no no so e hyematare e wo program yi eso na minim se your time kakra de a kefa course ba ko mienu bi se time na asna de ya mamenhwe mamenhwe se metimi afa messages 1 2 3 bia to four prince also watching live from Ketekrache to for Nyamisha. Good program, Richard Abeku Ahe. God bless you for the insightful revelation. I'm watching you live from Buanuem. I don't know if in Cote d'Ivoire. Oh, and Tina mean money. Okay, Swedru and also your Patrick Arthur. And you have been so bisa say holy scene or a country. And that's why individual.
Mr. Ewan.
We bisa. Okay, Ebenezer Nyampong Nana in Team Berima. Or say 2 others are watching with me. Okay. Nyame insha papa. If as minim so was empty abia. Niempo.
Dear Tiana say enkomhye edilem. You see edru ebra ye be hye kwasadamra. Ye kan say Ewan ba yatum. Omawie.
Ya hyemra no.
Yes.
It do bra e be take global dynamics.
Ti you and there wakone there. She say aka amanaman bofo to so bofo de kan e wo edisentedu na no. O se wo de ma asase amanaman asana aba musioku. Ti say no amanaman na eduru so.
That's right.
And na nkom hye America na say di kan. Enu ene ye hwe if amanaman a beboba.
Oba the insha evangelist. So person free evangelist na need nkita ho bia na number is 055 35 74933. So person send this kind support to program you so the same number and I be send this kind of the akoso ne die beba na Joseph Anane oba de insha send na Mmre so je brena hwe dwumadi ni ye free ha watch mu TV na to 3 bien obra evangelist at the time with the watchman and so eba wa kwan so no akosi ho so e wo hon mo tisha no so saman na program hwe na Mmre Mr. Afriye Adaroma e ade akua da Mmre wa bra abo nondu ekobutu ba akono 10 to 11 p.m. no be saying and repeat ashe into mon no so sa MI
so Trinity
TV so be fa okuada de no enti so wunya home based TV a obetimi ashe e wo Trinity TV enti oba de insha mo papa pa ye from suafu de share kofika kare nyame akoa a wo de na domie kumase bro no bi de omse ye nya so evangelist obade insha papa evangelist Joseph Anane ena ye ma Mmre anen so ewo ye ntebo ha o produce show na mai enti da mo ase na bo twese na wa bra abo no nsia ekobo no nso no Adiyie Mmre ebe bo akwan so bi o kai ebe mi ehunu no kre no na no kre no aye ade hye Mr. Free, God bless you so much ye da mo ase.
Sweet Jesus, you're the wind beneath my wings.